How to get the chat up? How to get the chat up? There we go. Okay. Dad. Alright, how I need to get this window so it's not taking up my entire screen so I can see the chat. I've not seen any window options. Interesting. Well, I guess this is how we are doing things. Okay. What did Sauron want? Sauron is of the butt connoisseur tier, so I think it's only fair I start with his. I need to find where he said what he wanted, though. Okay. Looks like Sauron sent me a document with a bunch of information and a reference. Gender male, height 8 feet 7 inches, has the demeanor of a proper gentleman or nobleman, born long before the formation of the Milky Way galaxy on an ancient alien world, regarded as the greatest sorcerer of all time. Wears black armor. Was once a champion of the goddess of order. Basically became corrupted. Interesting. Nothing here about coloration or anything other than that he has black armor. So, looks like I get to have a fun time with this. He is freaking huge. However, I'd say that the information that he was born before the galaxy and that he's very ancient is useful. Sorry for how boring everything must be to watch. I'm gathering references at this time. Hold on, is my mic on? Yeah, it says my mic is on. I'm not sure if y'all can hear me though. Oh, hey Crankit, the program is Art Rage. It's the one I typically use. And hey Jack. Okay. I'm glad you guys can hear me. I've just been going around trying to find information on the character Sauron wants me to draw. It looks like he sent me some references too, which is always helpful. Let's get some... Looking at some ancient armor designs as well. Get some ideas flowing. I'm sorry for any I can't English today. Background noise. My father has decided to not only watch all of The Last Jedi again, but routinely pause it just to rant about how awful every scene is. every like 10 to 20 minutes or so. It's pretty funny. I need this burger. Zahn's primary reference comes from World of Warcraft. I'd like to bring in some other elements as well, just to make it look particularly old and alien. Because that's like the only information I have regarding his appearance, is that he is very ancient, from an ancient alien world. And well, that's all I got to go by, and may as well. Use Clip Studio Paint? Ah, yeah. That used to be called Manga Studio, I believe. I had Manga Studio back in the day while it was still Manga Studio. I am not doing stream requests per se. I am currently working on art for Patreons. I'm just gonna like catch up to the chat real fast. It won't let me pull up, my art program has decided to take up the entire screen. So the only way I can see anything that's going on is by minimizing it. So I have to do that occasionally to catch up with you guys in the chat. I hope they hate it. I know it's some younger folks who don't remember how awesome Star Wars used to be Uh, Even folks my age like it, weirdly enough. But I come from a weird generation, man. Yeah, it's a really nice layout, especially if you're used to traditional media and painting from a physical palette and having like all your materials around in a similar fashion. It's no problem, Aspie. My goodness, it must be dusty in here. Okay, I seem to be caught up to chat. I'm gonna go ahead and get my references into this program so I can have them up on the same page and start drawing. I wish there was a way I could make like chat beep at me whenever you guys posted a new message. There's probably a way to do that, and I just haven't figured it out yet. I would not be surprised. Why can't I find the one for, oh, is it because I downloaded it directly from the Twitter? Is that why it's doing that? Okay, I'm going to have to do this in a more roundabout fashion, I suppose. Okay. Oh, it's still a large PNG. Okay. I'm just gonna screenshot it then. For whatever reason, I can't open large PNGs and large JPEGs if it says like the large in the thing. I don't know why. It's so weird. Oh wow, chat like suddenly speeds up and then freezes occasionally. Yes, 2 sneezes, all the sneezes. My mom likes Rey and she likes both Jedi movies and she doesn't understand what's wrong with them. But also, English isn't my mom's first language and she likes every bad movie we see. She's weird. I've never tried Inkscape. So I don't know. I just know that this particular program's easier for me because it mimics traditional media. I called it in Force Awakens. I was like, I hate these movies already. Rey is a Mary Sue. They killed Han Solo. And none of this is okay. But you know, I kind of hoped things would get better. I hoped that it was just like a rough start and they were just leaning too much on nostalgia and all that. And that by the second movie they'd, you know, have it down and stuff. I wasn't expecting it to get so much worse. Was anybody expecting it to get this bad? Like really? I'd hope not. I really would hope not. Okay. I have all sorts of references. Oop. I'm gonna start just a sketchy though. Just a Oh, sketchy sketch. Okay. Yeah. And I forgot to plug in my tablet, of course. Because why not? You know, it actually wasn't that hard to set up the screen because I have done a stream on YouTube before. It's actually really, really easy, especially if you have OBS installed. But what gave me trouble this time was my art program decided to be an absolute jerk. I did not push the blowy thingy. No, I'm pencil. I'm going for pencil. Program Y. Okay. Now, Sauron didn't say any specific, like, scene that Sauron wanted. So I'm assuming it's just a basic design. And now y'all get to see how messy my digital doodles are. Woo! Yeah, I chose to do this digitally simply because y'all can see what I am doing. And blue was not the color I chose, but blue is the color that we are, apparently. I'm blue, dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die. I'm showing my age, aren't I? I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be covered with a helmet, so I probably shouldn't be too concerned about making it head-shaped. And actually, like, the whole thing is just gonna be, like, pretty much just armor. It's just, like, a vaguely human figure just drowning in massive armor. He's supposed to be a sorcerer, so well, I guess he was a champion too, according to the information that was sent me. So, like, I guess he could be fairly muscular. I'm just gonna make it up as I go and hope that Sauron eventually shows up and tells me what I'm doing wrong, but until then, we're just going to assume that this is vaguely what is wanted. Yes, this is how I sketch torsos. I know, so refined and professional like. Yeah, well, you have like these muscles under the armpit. If you work out enough, they're like wider than your chest area. And then of course you've got your pectoral muscles. I only recently, relatively recently found out that there's like not just one muscle over here, but it's like in 2 sections. Why are muscles so weird, guys? Why are they so weird? Why can't muscles just be like normal things? I don't understand. But you know, if you gotta muscle your way through it. Get it? Get it? I should shut up, shouldn't I? I like corny puns too much. I'm sorry. You guys are probably going to be subjected to them throughout this whole thing. And y'all are just going to desubscribe. Technically, I should make his arms straight since it's just supposed to be a normal standing pose. But since this is a design, I'm putting the arms out a bit because the pauldrons are just gonna be freaking massive. Like we're talking pauldrons that make him look so much an arm. I need to make his arms longer actually in order to accommodate the massive armor that he's going to be getting. I'm sorry guys, I can't be stopped at this point. There's no stopping the absolutely terrible punnage. There's just none. I'm surprised that this looks like something to you guys. So does this even look vaguely human-like? Because I'm just scribbling things in at this point because I'm not refining it at all currently. I'm just trying to get the basic shapes down of the person underneath the armor, and then work on the basic silhouette of the armor, and then we're going to start detailing the sketch and all that. But of course, this is just a sketch. I'm thinking that for longer patrons, like depending on how many months you're here, like the first month I do a sketch and then I keep everything saved, so that like if you're still here next month and you haven't completely given up on me yet, I can continue working on that sketch and start working on lining and stuff. The problem is it takes me forever to line freaking digitally, so I'm not sure if that would work, but that's what I would like to do, like reward you for staying for a long period of time. If we get to a large chunk of patrons though, I won't be able to do that because I'd be too busy working on things for new patrons. But there you go. Oh, by the way, muscular legs are kind of oddly shaped because guys have like narrow hips in this area. The thighs are narrow there. So unlike a girl's, which of course would get larger and then smaller, draw a little girl thigh over here. Okay, okay. Like, there's like a girl thigh leg, right? It's bigger than smaller. Muscular thighs tend to be like the slightly triangular shape. It's weird, man. I don't like to draw like bodybuilder level muscles for the most part because that's actually kind of cumbersome, and actually it'd be really hard to do a physical fight if you have bodybuilder type muscles because they actually get in the way of your flexibility and movement, so you wouldn't be able to do a lot of things properly. So actually, if you're gonna do superheroes, don't make them look like bodybuilders unless they have some sort of like special ability that makes them able to move otherwise. Like Bane is kind of superhuman, so he's got like bodybuilder type muscles, but they're not like natural muscles. It's like a different kind of stuff. So you can kind of just like excuse that as in they're not they're not the normal muscles. They're like science muscles. Then if you can excuse it like that, then it's fine. But for the most part, if you're gonna do a muscular superhero action hero character instead of bodybuilders, you want to go with like athlete type muscles because their muscles are according to their activity. And depending on like what superpowers they have, and what they use their strength for, their muscles are going to form in a different way. Much like a gymnast, a runner, a weightlifter, and a swimmer are all going to have slightly different muscular builds. So that's always something to pay attention to. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense to you guys. I'm just doing my best to give advice while I go. I'm going to catch up with chat real fast. Oh my gosh, I've missed so much of chat. You guys have just been having a party over here. Age, are you 12? I'm not 12. I'm actually 21. You got the numbers reversed. It has my birthday over on my Twitter page. So yeah. Tendons are weird, man. They're the weirdest weird. And yes, the corn is real. My corniness is it's inescapable. You guys are stuck with it now. Shut up, wouldn't that defeat the purpose of the stream? Yeah, you've got a point. It'd probably be even more boring to watch if I shut up. Yes, armor. When you're on a roll, you're on a roll. Yeah. My role is pun maker. You're pretty punny yourself, Cranky. Do I draw anime slash manga? Actually, my usual style is quite manga-esque. Because pop surrealism and anime and manga have always been really big influences for me. I try to tone it down and change the facial proportions to be a little bit more normal when I'm doing art for others, simply because not everyone likes the anime aesthetic. I find that in the comic community it's pretty 50-50. There, well, maybe a little bit more like manga than don't like manga and anime. But for the most part, it seems pretty 50-50. People are either like it or just hate it. Yeah, blue's nice. Blue's a lovely color. Green's my favorite though. Guys are dull just talking about blue. Well, Jack, if you get in a bar fight, get enough bruises, and you'll become quite blue. and black, but still. Aw, Josh went to sleep and I missed it. Good night, Josh. Whenever you see this and can hear me say good night to you, good night. I'm a really old-fashioned 21-year-old though, so I don't act like people my age. It's pretty funny. I'm a weird combination of really childish and mature. That makes no sense, but it's like it depends on the subject and the context. Because I act pretty childish like. I act pretty childlike in general. Because I like to have fun. I like to be goofy and be silly and make no sense and stuff. But I know when it's right to tone things down and just be understanding. I'm trying to be fun with you guys though. I don't want to be too boring. Okay, I seem to have caught up with the chat. Crinkit, are you you're classically trained but not really? Trained but not really? You classically trained in the arts? In the art stuffs? Yeah, like cosplay is cosplay. I don't think any cosplayer is like too particular about what other people are cosplaying. It's like, oh, you do cosplay? Yeah, I do cosplay. Let's both do cosplay together. Unless you're Momo-kun. In which case, keep your hands off me, please. I'm not about that kind of life. I bet the food is good at anime cons. Actually, I heard that some anime conventions have maid and butler cafes. I want to go to one. Just once. I want to go to one. I'm going to go grab my drink real fast so my voice doesn't give out on me midway through things, and I'm going to go right back to sleep. Okay. Ah, man. right before I got to college, the college I was going to closed their art program, and then all they had was graphic design instead of art and design. It was so boring. I had to be extra about things to make them more fun. Like, we had to cut colored paper to make a design at one point. Um, and I decided to hand paint all my paper, and then the girls next door borrowed my X-Acto knife and then never returned it, so I had to use scissors. And the thing is, we had to make a chicken, and I got the stupid idea in my head to cut out every single tiny feather. And I did that with scissors. Oh my gosh, my hand was in such pain. I stayed up till pretty much morning working on that chicken. I named it the frickin' chicken. The frickin' chicken has a home now, though. It actually sold for $50. That was back when my art was cheaper, and I was just happy people actually wanted to buy it because no one wanted my stuff. Now people want my stuff. I still can't get over the fact that people actually like my stuff now. It's like, what? Like, I only put up my most recent contribution to the Zira, Trap Shira trend going over on Twitter, and it's already got, like, last I checked, it had like 33, and it might be around 40 now. Who knows? Likes, which is really cool. I don't know though, dudes. I don't think I'm ever gonna get used to the fact that people like my stuff. Like, wow. It's incredible, to be honest. Like, I used to always have a booth out whenever there was an art event or a local flea market or whatever. It's actually really demotivating to just watch people walk by and not even look at your stuff most of the time. I was just happy to sell like one $10 print. And now things are so different now. I need to work on my speed for sure though. I'm super slow. But man, I can't get over how things have happened, and I look forward to the future. I look all the forward to the future. Because from where I'm standing, the future is looking like it's going to be dang awesome. Like Josh, who just popped in, revealed that he has great plans for the future. And I think you guys are really going to like it, so please go support Josh. He's an incredibly talented man and actually a professional animator as a day job. But no doxing him because he lives in Canada. Like, he can get arrested for hate speech for saying things people don't like, so if they find out it is him. So I cannot tell you what he works on or where he works or what studio or anything like that, because I want to keep my friend safe. He is a good man, a very good man, and his girlfriend is bright like sunshine. But yeah, it's really just incredible. I've met so many incredibly talented people too. There's just so many things I don't think I'm ever gonna quite get used to. I'm a little bit better at talking to Umbrella Guy without screaming. I think he appreciates me being able to talk to him without being a creepy screaming fangirl. I feel like that is probably just a little bit appreciated. I'm still working on my reaction to Mim though. So like, Mim's only popped in once. If Mim would pop in again, I'd be so much better and less fangirly. Yeah. I heard though that today one of the original plans over on a Nerd Over 30's channel was to have just some guy come on. But plans of course change. Maybe he'll be on Saturday though, so if so, that would be freaking awesome, and I hope that y'all tune in for that, for sure. Okay, my least favorite part. Feet. Well, not so much the feet. The feet themselves, the actual foot is fine. But there's something connected to feet that is just evil, and it is called toes. Toes are of the devil. See, God made a perfect creation, and then Satan was all, how can I make this look stupid? I know what I'll do. I'll add toes. The problem is I actually like how toes look, and I like bare feet, and I like to draw characters with bare feet. So I wind up drawing toes fairly often, and I never draw them to my satisfaction. Ever. I have yet to draw a foot I am incredibly happy with. It's very sad. Okay. So we have we have a really rough person sketch now. And you guys can't see the armor sketch. But hold on. Let's move this guy. Make him a bit bigger. There we go. Since this is a rough sketch, I'm not worried about it losing quality when I make it big. Oh wait, no, I need room for the giant pauldrons. There we go. I need room for so much. This guy's armor it's gonna be huge. Absolutely humongous. Okay. That should give me more than enough room to work with. Gonna go catch up chat. How y'all doing over here? Yeah, for whatever reason, whenever I click on a tool, I have like a mini version of that. My cursor becomes a mini version of that tool. I don't know how I did that, but I accidentally did it once, and now I can't undo it. And actually, it makes it really hard to erase in the prop, the place where the actual eraser is erasing and stuff. So, as adorable as it is, I would not recommend it. I only went to college for 1 year. It did not work out. I wound up being diagnosed with ADD towards the end of my first year of college, but by then, like, it was too late in the year for me to fix everything I'd had so royally mucked up. Yes, the frickin' chicken. And Zira. I've been on the internet for doing commissions technically for several years now, though, and nothing of mine got a lot of views. All of a sudden, I make a Twitter account to make some random fan art for Zach and Ethan, and draw like a "Make America Great Again" sign with America Chavez on it, and all of a sudden, I start getting all the likes, and I'm just like, what? How do this happen? I'm enjoying drawing Zira and way too much. I actually have an almost finished doodle of another Zira to post on Twitter later, right next to me. Yeah, Zira as a trap does work. It explains why you don't see Adam / He-Man around either. Because like they did a 2002 remake of He-Man, you could see He-Man was there, but She-Ra was not there, and now She-Ra's there, but He-Man is not. So of course, the only logical solution is Adam is now She-Ra. Am I right or am I right? Both. The only option is am I right? So of course I'm right. Duh. Kawaii desu ni. Canada is a terrible place for free speech. And the sad thing is, it's not the only country either. There's a lot of countries where you cannot speak freely because of the law. America is one of the few, and yet we have this movement of people who want to go that way and limit free speech. See, the sad thing about free speech is it gives people the right to say mean things and be hateful, but the thing is, when you have people in power, sometimes they need to be knocked down a few pegs. Sometimes they need someone who will straight out say very rudely at times that something is wrong so that people can say, hey, that actually is kind of wrong. We should probably look into that and do investigations and crap. And actually, like, the heralder of free speech used to be our news and media. But now they just, I guess they put making money above getting different points of view and facts out there. So now they don't care about free speech and they're not backing it like they used to. And it's quite sad. Foot fetish confirmed. No, I don't have a foot fetish. I just really like naturey things. So to me, like, bare feet is just, it's very naturey. Like, when I was little, I'd run around barefoot all the time, get my foot cut on a bunch of things. But it was worth it because I like to run around barefoot. Now I live in Texas. There's too many thorns around and glass that people break in our yard for me to run around barefoot. It's very sad. I wouldn't. I am an appreciator and connoisseur of debooty. Debooty is not quite a fetish. Because fetish, I believe, implies that you enjoy it during sexy times. In which case, I'm probably going to be too distracted by the person attached to the booty to appreciate the booty properly. So in that particular instance, so because of that, can't be a fetish per se. Mini eraser must stay. Well, the mini eraser will stay. I don't know how to get rid of it. I do not have an Instagram because Instagram doesn't work on my phone. I've got a Windows phone, so most apps don't work on it, which is also why I can't just set up my phone and draw traditionally in front of you guys with it. Excuse me, because YouTube and whatnot doesn't like my phone. It does not. It's a mess. Usually it's an option in preferences. I'm not familiar with how like the menu things are set out. Kind of like all of a sudden I accidentally made it so my art program takes up my whole screen, and that's why I can't check chat while I'm drawing now. I wish there was some way to pop out chat. Okay, that's a little more manageable. Yeah, I can just pull up little chat box now. Ooh, that's nice. I rubbed my elbow against the desk though. That made a funny noise. How did I do that? Heck if I know. Okay, funny thing is that for most creatives, college is optional. In fact, I'd say that because a lot of colleges, including CalArts, tend to teach and focus on particular veins and styles of art, that you're actually, in a weird way, limiting yourself by going to an art college. So I feel that self-taught has its advantages in that way. Like, I can adjust my style to fit whatever, but as a whole, I've developed my own style because I am primarily self-taught. Yeah, it is. It's all too plausible if SJWs or anything. I agree with that entirely, Cranky. It reminds me of insulting the king. Off with his head! Yeah, they're all just the Queen of Hearts. That's the thing. The only issue is that instead of just one Queen of Hearts that you have to defeat, there's like an entire horde of them. And they will chase you until the end of time if left to their own devices. It's my right to talk about booty and pineapple pizza. Don't censor me. Yes, it is your right to talk about booty and pineapple pizza, and I applaud you speaking up about the booty. The booty is a very underappreciated body part. However, pineapple pizza, my dude, you're making me lose faith in you. Because much like people have the right to talk about whatever they want, you have the right to feel however it is you feel regarding what they say. However, how you feel does not immediately take away their right to say it. I don't like pineapple pizza, but that doesn't mean I have a right to go around and say, you're not allowed to say pineapple pizza's good. Ah! You bigot. Okay. Yeah, thick booty. Galganing's preferences, yes, that did happen. Yeah, that's another thing. I feel like I've met more people who went to art school who have like extreme egos. But in general, whenever the sad thing about artists is that when you're the best drawer in the room, everyone's like, oh, I can't even draw that good. Oh, you're so amazing. But the thing is, if you let that get to your head after a certain amount of years, it can, like, really just mess things up. And you can form that ego where it's like, this is my art style, and it's so new and special, and I don't have to change it for your anatomy. How dare you say my anatomy is wrong? This is just my style. It's my style to have derpy eyes and stuff. and it's not just that either. I think it's a combination of that and just the way things are on the internet, where it's like, I am the way I am, and it's like, my style is my style, how dare you imply that I should change it to get better at things. It's just a climate that a lot of things have turned into, and sadly, art got hit by SJW. It was one of the first things to get hit by SJWs, probably because, like, the influx of social justice advocate hipsters in the art world. That's probably how things like television and comics and animated shows got taken over so quickly too, because art has always been like something where there's a lot of social justice hipsters in it. So those areas, of course, are going to get hit and get hit hard. Do not let Gal intimidate you. Pineapple pizza, bigotry, and hate speech. You guys are great. Oh, Aspie, your pieces of She-Ra and Squirrel Girl. I think I saw them, but I'm not sure which ones because I've seen so many of them. Oh, I remember. You got got attacked. There was some person who just started attacking you for your She-Ra art over on Twitter either yesterday morning or this morning. And I believe it was Nerd Wonder came to try and defend you, and then she got like double teamed, and then I popped in to help Nerd Wonder. That was a mess. People can be so rude. I swear, because of the whole She-Ra thing, there are people going around the She-Ra tag just to find people with opinions they don't like in order to argue with them. I swear that's exactly what's happening. Because I've been seeing it everywhere, and it's always like usernames and people I don't know and that I've never seen in my notifications. And I'm just like, who are you? And how did you find me? Just to scream at me about my opinions on She-Ra. Do I know you? Yeah, social just us. That's a great way to put it. Yes. And pineapple pizza just for the two of you. But you can't give any away. That'd be pineapple appropriation. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys in the chat are so funny. You're distracting me. I'm going to have to minimize you for the time being. And back to work. Okay, so got the body down. Which means it's time to start working on the silhouette of whatever the hay armor this is going to be. This is actually probably going to be one of the hardest parts. He's like a corrupted, tainted champion, knight, sorcerer person. I kind of want to make it particularly menacing by obscuring the face with the helmet, but still have some of the face showing, but in shadow. Oh, I should probably zoom in, actually. Why am I this far out? Far out, man. Yeah, and now you guys get to see how stupidly messy my really rough sketches are. They're a little bit, they're cleaner in real life. They are. It's just, digitally, this happens. Maybe it's because I just subconsciously constantly use my eraser when I'm sketching in real life. Heck if I know, dudes. Heck if I know. And possible dudettes. I don't want to assume y'all's gender or anything. I feel like a more traditional Night Visor would look more menacing, simply because it makes the overall head and face so much sharper. Okay, little things to know about character designs, guys. Y'all ready? Okay. Whenever you're designing something, circular shapes and rounded edges make things look more friendly. Elongated circular edges, or like noodly shapes, tend to make things more elegant, which is one of the reasons why when I draw females, I tend to extend the waist. I make the waist section longer in order to give a little bit of a more almost serpentine bend to the spine and the waist area to give it more grace. Yeah, so that's why I do that. And then as you can see when I draw dudes, they're very squared. And by the way, squares make things look strong. Okay, squares strong, circles soft, noodly news grace. And triangles make things scary. So if you're gonna work on like a villain, I'm making this guy look quite villainous. I've got a limited amount of information to go by. All I know is like he's a dark knight who used to work for a goddess but like doesn't anymore, betrayed her or something. He's like a corrupted knight. I'm probably gonna give him some weird head thing. But I'm using a lot of triangles for that reason. Basically, your mind knows soft things aren't going to hurt you, and sharp things are going to hurt you, and like square-looking things are strong and sturdy and good to lie down on and take a nap. These are just simple responses that the human brain has had since caveman times, so you can definitely utilize them when you're doing art and design. I want to put something on his head, but I don't want to make it like a stupid feather. See? I could make it like a stupid feather, and then it doesn't look scary anymore. Well, I mean, it could kind of be like a menacing, fluffy feather ponytail thing, but I don't like that as much. Actually, you know what might look really cool? If I put a hood coming out of the armor. Like, can I hood it? That is my current question. Because hoods make everything more sinister. Am I right or am I right? And also, even like, means that the helmet would be more obscured as well, but it means I can simplify the helmet down to a basic shape. So it's now more like that. Ah. I need my eraser. Eraser! Okay. There you go. And then, like, this can connect to, like, a capey thing. So the hood is connected to a cape and probably pinned down with parts of the armor. It'll make more sense, hopefully, when I am done sketching it out. Also, let's get rid of this. This is stupid. This looks bad. And we're not doing the fluffy ponytail thing. He's supposed to look dark and menacing, guys. No ponytails here. No ponytails. I'm sorry. I know y'all were probably rooting for the ponytail. I'm gonna check. Cape of Flames. No, he's supposed to be like a dark knight. There's nothing regarding flames on it. Ponytail of flames. No, I just went over it. There is not going to be any ponytail. Flame feather, flame boa. How'd y'all even get into like the flame thing anyway? This guy gets it. Do it. Flames are awesome, but that's not, there's nothing regarding flames in the information I was given. Simply that this particular being is older than the Milky Way galaxy and belongs to an ancient race of aliens. So it's supposed to be like some ancient alien knight character. I guess I can use alien as an excuse as to why I gave him 3 fingers and yaoi hands. Okay, now for the pauldrons. Like, I could do circular. One of the references he gave me has, like, giant circular pauldrons, but with, like, pointy curly doodads coming out of them. One more hint of design advice, though. And I tend to use like asymmetrical designs for my heroes as well, but you'll notice in some media the hero will have a symmetrical design that's balanced, and the villain will have an asymmetrical design. And first of all, asymmetry is always going to be more interesting to the eye than symmetry. But symmetry kind of brings a feel of calm and order. So if you're going to have a character who is more based on order, being orderly and following the rules, you're going to want to make their design more symmetrical. Whereas whenever you have something more chaotic, like a villain, making the design more asymmetrical helps add to that. Are you guys already learning more than you learned in a freaking art school? Probably, actually. I've never been to an arts class. I went to a college, but those art classes were mostly useless because the teacher kept trying to kick me out of them. She did not like me. Actually, I kind of like the idea of having, like, fur coming off of this. Maybe from, like, some animal or person he killed. Maybe it's human hair. Heck if I know, I'm just going with the flow. And I'd probably give that like a raggedy edge, so it looks more ancient and old and torn and worn out. But like, see what I mean? Asymmetrical. Also, that adds another triangle. Once more, guys. Triangles are the most villainous of shapes. I'm giving you guys actually a lot more design advice than I thought I would. It's probably stuff some of you already know, like graphic designer person in the chat. Graphic designer person, have you been told this stuffs before? Oh, Elizabeth likes my pauldron. Thank you, Elizabeth. Ever do any paint chat? I don't know what paint chat is. I know that I found this program where like multiple people can draw on it at once, which might be like super fun to do during a live stream. To have like a bunch of artists on that just messing around and probably erasing each other's doodles. Maybe he's a pyro alien. I don't think so. Like, nothing in his description said so. I'm just gonna try to go with what I've been told, and like all the I looked at like a bunch of museum photos of ancient armors. So I'm gonna try to put a lot more of those in as well, and we'll just see where this design goes. Cause right now I'm just making it up as I go. Fur is less old than fire. Actually, not true. Mammals have been around far longer than before man discovered fire. Or at least I would assume so. I think like the dinosaurs may have discovered fire first, and that's why they went extinct. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, T-Rex's closest living relative is a chicken, so giant fried T-Rex, everyone. Who needs chicken when you got a T-Rex? Eat chicken legs for days, man. learned that the hard way. Yeah. Yeah, the thing about Twitter and social media is people are like, this is my personal page and I can say anything I want on it. But nowadays, there's, especially when you're in the limelight like that, people are gonna check. People are gonna want to like follow you and know what you think. And nowadays, you think the wrong way. You're a terrible person. I'd say Gunn has a sense of humor that I find relatively sick and twisted. And however, I don't think anybody should be punished per se for the way they think. The issue with Gunn was that um, he was insulting others for the way that they thought. So of course, all of his old stuff is gonna get pulled up. And I'm personally not okay with anything regarding rape or such. So I personally did not find most of what he said funny at all. Mostly because there was so many, and I wouldn't even call them jokes because jokes have like a setup and a payoff. They didn't have a setup or a payoff. They were just kind of stupid statements and stupid things to say regarding rape, and it was just, mm, why though? I probably did forget about him because they were a couple years old, and he's not too young. Yeah. Yeah, it is nice. It is nice to see karma in functioning order. Alright, I'm gonna minimize chat again and get back to Le Doodling. So, this is gonna have to do some sort of weirdness in order to be functional. As cool looking as it is. Okay, so now on this side I'm gonna have a smaller pauldron. And actually, should I give him even huger pauldrons? I mean, I guess I could make this one bigger. I mean, this is his right arm. I can assume he's right-handed, right? So this putting more weight on this particular arm shouldn't be too cumbersome for him. It might make his arms interesting though. One's gonna get more buff than the other. I'd say that would probably actually be the primary concern. Okay, yeah, that's a little bigger now. It's a poquito, just a little bigger, and then you know what? A little bigger is all it has to be. Oh, if you overdo things, then it's not gonna be as memorable. Having a bunch of little pieces is fun in of itself, but it's not gonna make for an iconic design. Think of Mickey Mouse. His head and ears are basically like 3 circles, and that's an iconic symbol that everyone knows and remembers. So you don't want to make anything too complex. And that's actually one of my problems with like photorealism, is that it looks like a photo, and which is nice, and that's complex, and people who do it are cool. I'm not nitpicking with them, but when it comes to like design, comics, video games, you don't want anything too realistic, and you want things more simplified. And I will actually say that from a storytelling standpoint is the simpler the face is, the easier it is for people to imagine themselves as that character. So like you'll see, especially in a lot of mangas, a lot of mangas very good at this, in that they'll have the main character have a very simple face, and like whoever's a member of the main cast will have simple faces, and then whoever, like the villains or like the wise old man characters who are helping out, I put way too many spikes on this, they'll have more realistic faces, because you're not supposed to relate to them. You're supposed to either fear or dislike them, or like look up to them as some wiser or worthy of admiration being. A more recent example would be My Hero Academia, who's the most realistically drawn character in the whole series? All Might. Because you're not supposed to relate to All Might. You're supposed to look up to and be like blown away by All Might. He's not supposed to be human. He's supposed to be like some almighty being. That's the way the characters see him. And since you're supposed to be able to relate to the characters, that's the way you're supposed to see him. Am I making any sense to y'all? I'm trying to be helpful. I don't know how helpful I'm being. Y'all may have already known this already. For all I know, I'm just repeating things y'all already learned other places. I'd hope I'm teaching you guys useful new information, especially if you guys are artists, or you want to get into art, or you want to eventually make comics, because a lot of you are probably from the Comicsgate community, if not all of you. Okay, now I should probably get some sort of breastplate down, because I'm not going to know how to connect the arm armor to the body armor if I don't know what's going on over here. So now it's time to stare at the chest until I get ideas, I guess. More triangles. Whoa, triangles. I'm on a bridge, Charlie. Okay, anyways. Okay, fun facts about armor. Breastplates can't go past the waist, because once you pass the waist, with hard metal things that are hard to move in, he can't bend the waist anymore, and he's basically screwed if he wants to slash things with swords or shoot arrows. Breastplates always have to end at the waist in order to, and have some sort of either ridging or give way to like some sort of like belt holding up things that'll protect the waist, or like chainmail even, or leather armor, because this area, he needs to be able to move it in order to move the booty and the chest and basically everything. once more, I'd really hope you guys are at least learning something from my babble over here. Because I genuinely want everyone to be able to improve as artists and as people, and I think there's always room for improvement. There's always room to be better, and as long as you're willing to take that chance, you can always become something even more amazing than you already are. As hard to believe as it is, because y'all in chat are amazeballs, but still, in the end, everyone is a masterpiece, and they're one that is going to be in the works and in progress for their entire lives. And rather than remaining stagnant, I think it's always better to try new colors and styles and new things in general. It makes the overall piece less boring, both in art and in life in a way. I'm weird though. I'm weird and I'm just babbling because I can't even see what you guys say until I click on the chat thing. So, what do I know? I'm just that comic gal, stealing just some guy's thing like a boss. Okay, so this is a really stupid looking breastplate. I don't like this. I can't. I know I want it to end in another point because it just kind of mimics the point of his mask. So I know I want this to end in a point. Maybe I'll have like a straight line here. Maybe some sort of ridging on the edges over here. Lacing. Like if I know, man. I feel like if I go over this more cleanly, I'm gonna make this a bit more transparent. Well, okay. If I go over this more cleanly, I'd add some sort of intricate design to the breastplate and even the mask. I'm just roughing it out right now, though, and figuring out what it is I am doing, basically. I'd say he's looking pretty boss so far, though. He's looking very intimidating. The thing about these giant pauldrons is they make him look larger, but also make him look stronger, and all the sharp edges make him look a heck of a lot menacing, which is lovely. I want him to look scary. That's the scariest of dudes. Yeah. Okay, one more thing. Basically, anywhere where people need to bend, you need to put some sort of fabric or metal. Don't put chainmail over too many places where people bend things, over too many joints, simply because chainmail chafes. That's just it. It chafes, okay, and it chafes bad. So think of like the worst chafing you ever got from an uncomfortable pair of like underwear, and then like times that by about 20. That's a chainmail chafe. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. No matter how cool the armor is, it's just not worth that. It just ain't worth it, bro. It ain't worth it. Like, so I have some sort of fabric over here to protect the soft elbow bits, but I'm also trying to cover it with more pieces from the pauldron. So, like, it's instead of, like, restricting movement, it's still, even though this is over here so he can move, there's still, like, a plate falling partially over it for protective purposes, because joints are also softer skin where people can stick knives more easily. So whenever you're designing armor, you gotta keep these things in mind, or at least I keep these things in mind like a weirdo. But yeah, I personally feel that it is helpful. It's helpful to me. I'm not sure if it's helpful to you, but you know, it might be. It might be helpful to you. So I'm gonna say it anyway. Take that. Boom. Just have to deal with it now, I guess. So how are y'all over in the chat, anyways? I feel like I'm going crazy talking to myself. I'm gonna scroll up and catch up with you guys. Oh, Sauron came in and I missed it. Yeah, Gun learned the hard way. SJW dinosaurs prefer soy-based chicken wings. Well, like I said, the closest living relative to the T-Rex is the chicken, so I'm pretty sure eating your descendants might even be frowned upon for dinosaurs. And given that I've seen SJWs actually, like, who've kicked out their own kids or berated their own children for thinking differently, I'd say SJWs are actually worse than dinosaurs in that manner. No, I'm not. This isn't. Hold on. There we go. Okay, now I can scroll and chat instead of like having my pencil spasm on the screen. Okay, Gunn was part of the Trauma filmmaker. Da 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 da. Already read that. Do I like a lot of asymmetry in my drawings? I'd say whenever I'm drawing armor, I tend to go for asymmetric designs, which is probably not as protective or convenient. Sorry, pulling my chair around. But I feel it visually looks better and more interesting. But also, once more, it helps to think of the personality of your characters. I have like a very religious character whose armor I need to design, and that's probably going to be very symmetrical because she's very orderly and respecting of order, particularly of more religious order. So I feel that for her, the symmetry would go along with her personality, and so that design would suit her more if it's more symmetrical. When I designed my She-Ra design, I gave her a little pauldron and a little cape, and I made the cape asymmetrical, simply because it's more fun. And yes, she's supposed to be regal and elegant and all that, but my She-Ra design is still like a 12-year-old girl. She's not exactly going to be orderly. So I just thought it'd be more fun. Especially since most of the design was symmetrical. So that was like the only asymmetrical aspect that brought interest to the design, and I freaking love her little cape. You can do like a mostly symmetrical design and just have like one asymmetrical thing, or even have the hair be the only asymmetrical thing. It just depends on what you feel looks good and what you feel suits the character. Okay, I got to where Sauron arrived. Hobbits keeping you busy. Two hobbits were here with Arene, but they left. I'm glad you like it so far, Sauron. It's really rough right now. I have to do things digitally so you guys can actually see what I'm doing, and so I can give advice and whatnot. So it's not as clean as my traditional sketches, which means it might take a while. Might take a while to get the sketch done. I'm sorry, Elizbar. We have the Dark Lord and we have hobbits. Lord of the Rings is going to happen now, apparently. Hobbits ain't crap. He punted them all into the lava. You guys are great. Your orc army didn't seem to see them. Well, you know what? It's hard to see people who are like a couple feet shorter than you. It's several feet shorter than you in the case of orcs and hobbits. Okay? Like, orcs just need to get into the habit of looking down more often. Like guarding the entrance to the volcano that can destroy arena power. Well, for the record, how do you guard an entire volcano? Like, you can't even, like, bury it in stone because the force of the lava and heat and gas from the volcano and whatnot would just blow the stone out eventually. Like volcanoes are a literal force of nature. Cut Sauron some slack, guys. And not letting Gollum go was a really tough. Oh, and letting Gollum go was a really dumb idea too. This is also true, yes. Just the entrance the hobbits walked in. Yeah, but they can also summon eagles. Like, if they couldn't get in one way, they probably could have just flown over the volcano. I mean, haven't you guys watched How It Should Have Ended? Okay. I'm gonna get back to sketching. I'm glad you like your dude so far, Sauron. Now that you are here, you can give me advice on exactly what you want added or where you want this to go and other whatnot. I feel like you should have some sort of simply do here. Maybe keep it pointy, but have it like a little bit shaped to his pecs, like a Roman cuirass. However, I will say that technically speaking, the Roman armor that was more shaped to their to the muscles, they actually didn't wear those in battle because having it have two rounded areas and then like an area that goes inwards towards the middle actually means that whenever someone hits the chest plate, all the force gets directed directly at your sternum. Should be around here towards the spine. And if the sternum gets broken, you are literally dead. Maybe if you're lucky, you're just paralyzed, but you're probably just dead. So that's actually one of the reasons why boob plates are seen as an issue by feminists, because they do literally angle it towards the sternum. Probably even more so since boobs are more, there's a bit more of a lump difference than just simply pecs. However, for aesthetic purposes, certain logic can be ignored. We're just gonna say he has a sternum of steel. Unless you don't like it. Because Sauron owns my booty, and therefore has final say in such matters. I know this is probably super boring for a lot of you, so I'm really glad that you guys have stuck with me this long. Thank you. I feel like a simple gauntlet before the actual little pieces all over the hand is nice, but at the same time, I kind of just want to put more spikes. That doesn't look right. I need to figure out my my spike placement as it is. Let's see. His hand is going down and out actually, so the spikes would probably, yeah. Actually, would you even be able to? No, because that side of it is towards the back actually. So the spikes would have to go on the outside so he could swing his sword, and you probably can't see them from this angle. Yeah, you can't see them from here. That's why it doesn't look right, because angles, gal, angles exist. And that's a thing you gotta pay attention to. Angles. I'm also a little sad. I'm not as much of a natural entertainer as I draw as EVS. Like I could probably tell you guys a story or something. I always have a bunch of stupid stories about myself being stupid, and some really sad stories. But we're not gonna do the sad stories today, because now is happy times and goofing off with friends. So if you guys want to ask for a story about something, you can feel free to do so. Other than that, I don't have any gauntlet references for the handy area. So I'm gonna make this up as I go again, which is actually pretty much how I've done basically everything so far. Of course, there's this plate. There's probably like some sort of like leather material underneath, but the plate's on this. The plates on top of it are likely connected with some sort of ribbing at the palm. Sketch that in. This particular one is basically going to make it look like he has claws, because all the bad guys have claws, don't you guys know? Yeah, we're gonna give him claws. They're gonna make him big and scary. Gonna be basically a bear, like a very spiky metal angsty bear, I guess. When I'm doing the designs on the armor and adding little details like chains and whatnot, I'll probably be looking at even more ancient armor and really old armors to get more ideas for that. But since this is just basic shapes, I can't really show how old things are currently. But it'll happen, Sauron. You shall has your ancient armor stoofs, and it'll be hopefully at least decent. Okay. So there's one little hand gauntlet thing. Time to do the other hand. So let's see, there's this plate here. This is how messy my digital sketches are. I already said that, but I can't get over how much more scribbly this is than when I draw it in traditionally in real life. It's just so much more sketchy. I'd say this actually needs to be brought up more this way. This plate. There we go. That way it finds more of this one. We have this come down. Like a little scale mail thing going on the fingers. Little claw here. So he can cut up. I wish I could pull up chat on my phone and just set my phone by my computer screen. Then I could look at chat while I'm drawing and stuff. I swear, guys, I'm gonna get like a traditional setup at some point so I can draw traditionally and just like keep an eye on what you guys are saying the whole time. It'll be great. Probably so much easier. Okay. It's very scribbly thus far. Okay, we have reached the waist. Now, as I said, you cannot put armor directly onto the waist area because they need to be able to pivot and move. However, what you can do is you could give them a big, fancy belt, and then you can put armor onto the belt. The usual thing would be to put armor plates here, and of course, a nice crotch plate to protect family jewels. Oh, always something important to protect. I'm gonna make it less square and more pointy. I'm gonna check chat real fast though. There we go. I cannot resize the window. It has decided to take over my screen, and I can't find any option to make it not take over my screen. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up and see what I missed, and I'll catch up to you guys towards the bottom. Eagles could have been shot down by archers. Yeah, but all the best archers are elves, don't you know? And elves aren't, for the most part, on Sauron's side, so... So he don't got that going for him. I mean, I guess maybe there's some orcs really good with trebuchets and slings. That's assuming orcs are of an intellect enough to build a trebuchet. Well, with Sauron's wise guidance, I'm sure they could make launcher things. And some orcs are smarter than others, and they can figure things out. You never know. Protecting boobs is extremely important, though. It is important to protect the boobs. That's why you want a dome that covers both of them and gives an extreme case of uniboob, because that actually protects the boobs better, because if the bodies that the boobs are attached to dies, they're gonna get all shrivelly, you know? They're gonna shrivel up with the rest of the corpse, and it's not gonna look nice. You want them to stay, like, plump, and I'm gonna shut up now. Sets of 3 work great from a design aspect. Yes, they do. I like a Raggedy Man just comments with, like, what looks like a triangle. Yes, all the triangles. Classy sorcerer of chaos. Yes, I was thinking very sharp and intimidating. Uh, you want it to look more gentlemanly and nobly, then it probably shouldn't be so ragged or as sharp. I'd have to tone down all the points and soften up things a bit. In fact, though, like, I have, like, one body base. I can probably draw multiple armors, even. Unless he only wears one set of armor. or, uh... Or you like this one so much, you'll just go with it anyway. I want to make sure I am suiting the character, however. I actually forgot the gentlemanly aspect in the description you gave me. I was trying to focus more on the ex-champion, soldier, sorcerer, chaos, and an ancient alien type vibes. I skipped over the gentlemanliness. Sauron is pleased, this is good. Okay, less beatings today. So silence for the Dark Lord to watch? Yes, not. Country-sized window. Codpiece. Yes, codpieces are quite important. Cedric got to discover a big fancy belt. No belt is bigger or fancier than the Mother of Mayhem's belt in the City of Heroes. It is a belt that could kill whoever if they lean forwards. There was an armor I got towards the end of the game in Dragon Age 2, and it was basically just like a very short chainmail thing, but with like a single breastplate, and this breastplate just had a single long point coming out of the chest. And I'm just like, if I hug anyone, they're dead. I'm gonna go hug my love interest Fenris now. You guys have fun. It's like every time there was a cutscene, I was wearing that armor, and like people came near enough that like they were just being impaled on the chest spike on the armor. It just cracked me up. Like every intimate scene or whatever, they're just getting impaled by my chest spike. It was great. Try F11 or Control F. I don't know what that's gonna do, and I don't want to accidentally like minimize or lock out of the window, so I'm just gonna live with it for now. Didn't Sauron have his own air force? I mean, the Witch King's mount did fly. This is true, but as far as I know, there's very few of them. So the Griffins would probably outnumber and overpower any of his flying peoples. Preachy the plumpness. Witch King ain't living that one down. All the pointy bits and fire. Yeah, I remember that Dragon Age 2 armor. Yeah! Kirkwall was a pretty pointy city. Actually, the ending of Dragon Age 2 made me so mad because you're forced to either side with the Templars, who are mostly Lyrium addicted jerks, or you have to side with the mages, whereas the leader of the mages just basically committed a terrorist act and murdered a bunch of nuns and probably children in the chantry. Like nuns, families, children, whoever was unfortunate enough to try and have a wedding in that church that day. It's just like it didn't go too well for them. There was no good side. I just kind of wanted to go, you know what? I'm well respected enough in this city. I'm taking over. Like, this is me. This is my throne. Y'all work for me now. Yep. That's what I wanted to do. That's the thing, the choice I really wanted to have, because you get built up throughout the entire game as this leader that everyone in the city looks up to. Only to, at the very end, still wind up working for other people. Like, it feels like it's setting you up to become the leader, especially after the leader gets killed by Kunari. It feels like it's setting you up for this, and then it doesn't happen. That is also true, Cranky. That is also true. Don't worry, though, because if I remember correctly, I went down and hunted down the apprentice of the Blood Mage who did that to my mother and proceeded to have Fenris rip his heart out. It was so satisfying. Oh, hi, Vile. I'm still working on things, so we're good. I'm currently not, actually, because I'm reading chat, but I'll go back. I'll go back. The only things that really made Dragon Age 2 worth playing were the companions and their interactions with each other, and your interactions with them, and the party banter throughout the game. That was the best part of Dragon Age 2. When it comes to the plot, it was really rushed, especially towards the end. It felt like there was pieces missing. Like, you even get the, I'm not choosing any of you option to say, but, and then they're like, no, you must choose. But I don't want to choose. No, you must choose. It's like, it was stupid. Inquisition, I actually haven't finished playing Inquisition. I'm really sad, though, because as of the last time I played, I was playing for a long time, and I still haven't gotten beyond kissing with Cullen, and that makes me very upset. It's like, Cullen, in game time, we've known each other for like almost a year now. Come on, dude. And also, it's not even like public smooching either. Whenever you go to smooch, you go to smooch him, he's like, okay, then he takes you to this private place, like he's just too embarrassed to smooch you in public. I'm just like, come on, dude, why? Aren't you proud of having me as your girlfriend? No, Inquisitor, I am not. You always sing random songs while slaying monsters and jump from buildings and other stupid things like that. But, aren't I your waifu? No. It's just, I feel like, when you get the actual, the second base in the game, I forget what it's called, I discovered, because Cullen decided to set up, like, this little table for himself in the middle of everything else before you give your speech, and then he moves inside, or to his tower, or whatever. He just sets up this little table to work at in the middle of everything, and you can jump from one of the balconies onto this table. And so I just kept doing that repeatedly. I feel like if that was like real life, just like, Inquisitor, will you stop this nonsense? No, I'm having fun. I feel like I was probably like the most annoying Inquisitor ever, and maybe that's why he didn't want to do any more than kiss me. He knows. That's why. He knows I'm just a mess. Yeah. Let's not pretend that most of the time in BioWare games you're not just like looking for whichever the hottest or most interesting romance partner is. I'd say, actually, I counted, and straight guys have the fewest amount of love interests in Inquisition. Like, there's more love interest for lesbians in that game than there is for straight dudes. And I was just like, why? BioWare, I get that you want to cater to everyone, but like, most of the people playing are straight dudes. You should at least make it equal. Like, not just basically only give them, I think, what was it, like one or two love interests. Cassandra and the Jolene? Some J name. No, it wasn't a guy named the French Spanish lady. I don't know. She was cute and all. She was cute and all. My gay best friend dated her in the game. It's like, oh, she's the cutest person ever. I can fight for her honor and whatnot. And I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm still stuck in kissing stage with Goland. You're fighting for someone's own honor. Come! But where don't I at least have like a quest to do for you or something? But like, actually, now that I think about it, probably the only technically pretty chick in that game was Liliana. Cassandra was still pretty, had a square jaw and stuff, but she's like supposed to look strong, so that makes sense. But like the blonde elf chick and the Spanish chick was kind of just average looking, and then the blonde elf chick just had the weirdest smashed looking face. It was awkward. It's kind of like the same thing that people mention with Mass Effect and Andromeda. People are happy to make the guys like an idolized handsome, but the ladies, BioWare especially, has just been like toning down the hotness, which makes me sad for like the age of Dragon Age Origins, where like all the ladies had like heart-shaped faces and tiny pouty lips and thin eyebrows and tiny noses and bigger eyes and giant personalities. They all had very big, buxom personalities. Okay. So my current question is, do I want to do this, or do I want to minimize these and then just give giant leg armor instead? Because this and big leg armor would not work visually. But at the same time, I feel like he might want his hips protected. I mean, it depends. Hey, Sauron, does this guy do any kicking or need to move his legs a lot when he fights? Or is he mostly like an arm dude? Because having less armor here and focusing on armoring the legs would make sense if he uses his legs more in combat. But I don't know his combat style. But what would that be? Sauron, teach me your wisdom. Liz Bar, go to bed if you can. Go sleep. I don't want to keep you up too much. Oh yeah, it was Jacqueline. Cassandra was adorable. Oh man, I made a cute elf boy just so I could romance Cassandra because she's so precious. I love her. She's such a precious baby. She just wants to be swept off her feet and likes corny romance novels. She's so freaking cute. Hmm. Hmm. Stay for the smooch talk. I feel like the DA2's companions making everyone bisexual was actually more convenient for the player because it meant that there wasn't anyone that you couldn't romance for the most part who was romanceable. I mean, we all get that Varric wasn't romanceable, which makes me cry because he was the best character in that game. And I don't typically like doors, but I probably would have gone for him just on that basis, simply because he's that awesome. I'd want to know what his romance romance story would be like. However, for the most part, I feel that making everyone bisexual works, particularly since it means everyone has like an equal amount of love interest to choose from, unlike in Inquisition where there's fewer love interests for straight dudes. And actually, yeah. And I don't know who the lady in all gold is. Maybe I just haven't met. Maybe I didn't meet her in Inquisition. Maybe I accidentally killed her. I don't know. All the romances in Inquisition were terrible. I still say Cassandra was an adorable being. Cullen is also an adorable being. I just wish he wasn't so. It's like you spent. I swear I probably spent like 9 months in game time where it's just the private kisses and no plot or no like cutscenes or no like new dialogue or a lot of just a lot of the stuff that DA2 or even the original Dragon Age Origins had that made the romance routes more interesting and intriguing was not there. It was sad. Fenshep Gar's romance is best romance in every game. I've heard that. I haven't played Mass Effect actually, so I wouldn't know. The problem with Mass Effect is that most of the aliens don't look very sexy, and that makes me sad. Like, can I have a sexy dude alien to romance, please? Please? That'd be nice. I can't get over Garrus's face. It's very sad. They toned down Cassandra's looks way down. This is true. They toned down all the attractiveness of the females. They kept Cullen incredibly fine. Actually, I think they made Cullen even more fine than he's been in previous games. However, they really toned down the ladies. Particularly the blonde elf. I mean, she's the only female character who's like wholly lesbian. I feel that making her ugly doesn't exactly say nice things about lesbians. But yeah. Yeah, huge personalities indeed. That's exactly what I meant, yes. I prefer more realistic armor, so I don't think I can help much. How realistic do you want it? He's definitely more of an arm dude. There we go. But he mostly uses magic. Gal, there are times where I wonder if our brains merge. LOL. Maybe we're just like twins who were separated at birth. You never know. You never know. I mean, it happened to He-Man, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do more normal leg armor that's not all huge at the top, then. Okay, I'm almost caught up with y'all in the chat. Oh, Cranky's going to Taco Bell. That's not fair, dude. Save me a burrito. No, having everyone bisexual kills the immersion. That's the thing, though. I feel like it would only kill the immersion if there was some way to see everyone's sexuality or ask about the characters' sexualities. You can't really do that in the game. Actually, particularly if you're playing a female. Anders, I believe, mentions if you are a male who's romancing Anders, he will mention that he's been with both men and women. And will tell you about his relationship with Carl. However, as far as I know, he's the only... Okay, no, it's pretty clear that Isabella goes for anything that has sex organs. She wants to sex those organs. So, but that I feel like that fits Isabella's character. I don't know. It depends. It depends on how it's done. Not just it existing, but how it is done. I kind of liked how, like, there was no particular, I only like this gender, people pronouncing. And, like, it actually made me sad in Inquisition that there were only, like, 2 attractive guys, because Solus was an egg, Grey Warden was hairy, Iron Bull was bull-looking. So the only attractive dudes were Cullen and the gay guy. But you couldn't romance the gay guy if you were playing a female, because he was the gay guy. And you just know that there's gonna be mods to turn every straight character gay. But if someone made a mod that made you able to romance the gay guy as a female, the entire population would just combust in your face. And probably get you banned off the Nexus or something. Titty mods are okay. Making a gay character straight or bisexual is not okay. That's how things work. And also, it would change his plot line and everything entirely, because a lot of his character arc and whatnot deals with him being gay. So you would have to completely change his character for that to make sense. So it's kind of a good thing that that's not going to happen. But at the same time, when there's only 2 attractive males, it just makes it kind of sad. Okay. Dinner and dancing at Taco Bell. And you're eating Taco Bell and dancing at Taco Bell? That's just not fair. Are you saying my boy Gares isn't hot? Yeah, I'm saying that. I'm sorry. I do not find him very attractive. Just thinking of Gares looking like Bruce Willis. Mass Effect had sexy aliens, but I must admit I am and always will be a Tailmancer. The only sexy aliens I know of from Mass Effect are the Asari. And they're all chicks. Like, what is a straight girl supposed to do? Where's the male alien equivalent? Is there an alien race that's just all sexy dudes? And if so, where are they? Where can I find them? And how far must science come to either make them a reality or help me build a rocket to get to them? I like Tally-mancing myself. Oh yeah, Tally! Tally is precious. Tally is a precious beat. I love Tally. Funny thing is, I've been told I can pass as a Puerto Rican. And that's weird, because Puerto Ricans are such a mix. All different eye color, hair color, skin tones, that there really isn't any one particular way for them to look, except for, in my experience, there's more of the hip, more of the booty, and long eyelashes. That's like the only traits I've found that have been somewhat consistent. Capes are impractical, but they look awesome. He needs a bigger cape. I kept it short so he wouldn't get caught in it if he's like swinging his sword around a lot. If it's too long, it's gonna wrap around him. And also his cape is asymmetrical, so. Capes are awesome, though. They are very, very awesome. Yes, Isabella is exactly like that. You know. LOL, if you could see everyone's sexuality, I constantly had the mage trying to get into my pants, and every romanceable character has a big heart option in their chat. Yeah, but I feel that you can technically flirt with anyone. Like, you can flirt with anyone. So having that heart option to flirt there, it makes sense. Because you can technically flirt with anyone. It's just people, if you are not of their type, are gonna turn you down. I love the Dragon Age group because I defended a mod that made gay characters straight because it was a stupid outrage. Yeah, it is a pretty stupid outrage. I mean, we can all get behind the mod that made Nick Valentine romanceable. Because we all wanted it so badly. But, making a gay character straight is just not okay, apparently. But there's gonna be all the mods that turned Cassandra into a lesbian. Because turning a short-haired, very strong, independent woman who's kind of masculine into a lesbian doesn't turn her into a stereotype at all. Nope. We need to show Gal the movie Demolition Man. That sounds familiar, but I'm not sure if I've seen it. The Hanar have some pretty sexy males. I'd have to look them up. She felt more like a little sister character, and that'd be weird to me. Well, she kind of falls in love with you. She kind of falls in love with him, or at least falls into a crush on you, regardless. So, your little sister might have a little bit of a brother complex. My dog's bloodhound is in my bed and won't leave. You snuggled the pupper. Just snuggle the pupper. That's what I do. The cape is a final gift from his late wife, so he always wears it. Think of it like Doctor Strange's cape. Okay, well, actually, it makes sense if he always wears it for it to be a bit more worn. But at the same time, if it's alive like Doctor Strange's cape and has a mind of its own. Huh. Interesting. The Hanar jellyfish. How are the jellyfish dudes attractive? I'm just getting more and more curious about this. Similar in style, but not that it's not a living thing, just a similar style. I have to look up Doctor Strange's cape. Doesn't his cape have like the weird big collar though? Did you say Nick Valentine Fallout 4? Don't mention that game. Do you want me to rant for the next 4 hours how Bathsheba is killing that franchise with a rusty spoon? I know that the newest Fallout 69, which is what I'm calling it, is probably going to fail because they kind of pretty much took away the ability to mod things, and that's what keeps a lot of Bathsheba games playable for long periods of time, is the ability to mod things. So you take away the ability to mod things, and people are just gonna. It might be popular for a short time, but it's not gonna be as long lasting. Like, people still play Skyrim because of the mods. So yeah, it's not gonna be as much fun. She's Cersei Lannister now, slowly with a rusty spoon. That, and it's online only, no NPCs. Hold on. I know that it's online. No, I heard that there's a story mode and an online mode, but you can just you'll just have random players ghosting around. But or it's just popping around and destroying things. But I didn't know there was no NPCs. How am I supposed to romance anyone? That's one of my favorite things to do in role playing games. Oh man, they took away my ability to turn the game into a dating sim. It's not worth playing then. not worth playing if I can't take someone. Like you play those games too for escapism purposes and whatnot. And a lot of gamers are single. And when you want like immersion and you want escapism, you want to be able to romance some NPC booty. If you can't do that, then it's just sad. Real romance is the only way. No, 9. I can't flirt or anything to save my life in real life. That would just be terrible. You talk about the practicality of the armor, then the spike needs to leave, and the cuirass is too low. Looks cool though. The cuirass falls right at the waist. It just has a point that goes down at the navel. So it should be fine. I like the spikes though. The spikes make him intimidating. Yeah. Okay, I'll do a more noble looking version for sure when I'm done sketching this. Okay. He takes great care of it even after centuries of wearing it. It's gonna be at least faded though in color, especially if he washes it to keep it clean all the time. It just fade in color faster. So color-wise, it would be very faded, and the fabric might be a bit thinner due to wear, but not torn per se. No NPCs, no custom origin. Fallout is dead. Okay, well, for the record, I don't think Fallout will die after this. I think that they're trying to make it something. They're trying something new, and when they fall flat on their faces, they will learn that it's a stupid idea and not to do something this new because it just doesn't work for Fallout. It just doesn't work for Fallout in particular. Like, I understand having an online mode on a game and maybe even being able to bring other friends into a game and play stories with them, a la Portal 2, where you could play it with a friend, but you're still playing through a story, technically. And I think that would be really cool to have in. It'd be cool to, like, travel that universe with friends. Especially since there are different factions within Fallout that have been there since the beginning of the game, so you can both belong to like the same faction and do quests together, which would be super cool. However, when you make it like 100% online, you cut out all the story, the NPCs, and all the other things that make the world of Fallout feel more alive and make you feel like more like you're a special person within the world, then people aren't going to have as much fun playing it. Everything is worthless and I hate it all, want to nuke the planet. And then we'll have real life Fallout. It'll be great. That is not true, gal. I'm not sure what I said that is not true. Baby, don't hurt me, Hadaway. Don't hurt me no more. Okay, I love this and it looks absolutely amazing. Okay, don't worry, Sauron. I understand your points entirely. Luckily, this is just a rough sketch, and like I said, I can do more. It's no problem. Your optimism is misplaced. It's time to nuke everything. Give me the button. Possible, but has a company ever learned from their mistakes? Some gaming companies have. And to be honest, Fallout did so well at, Bethesda did so well at New Vegas. I'd say Fallout 4 was actually really good as well, and of course Skyrim several years ago now. Actually, I feel so old. They did so well on those that I think that they have potential as a company. They weren't as well known at all before Skyrim gained a bunch of popularity, at least as far as I can tell. Oblivion was not nearly as well known. Skyrim kind of put them on the map, so I think that they're still a relatively smaller company. They're just like trying to go mainstream with the online play that a bunch of other people have. So, and they're gonna realize that that's not the niche for them. Morrowind put them on the map. Yeah. Okay, so no, I need to see what I'm doing. Also, why did you suddenly decide to grab my pen instead of my pencil? Computer, computer, work with me here. That's not how you work with me. Okay, Okay, so that's armor. I might have, like, some fabric come down. It'd be cool to have a little Simile doodad or whatever on this. And of course the fabric would cover some of the leg armor, but it's mostly there for aesthetic purposes instead of armor purposes. The armor is underneath the fabric, of course. But it would make it look cooler when he moves, at least in theory. And sometimes it's just nice to make things look cool. Okay. Your little concept you sent me has like stripes. I don't like the stripes though. I don't like them. I feel like if you're going for like an ancient armor design, particularly on like a noble dude, stripes just they're too spunky, or at least maybe like even Egyptian question mark. I don't know. It depends on the stripe and the colors. Okay. I normally I love stripes. I particularly like striped socks. They're cute. But that's the thing. They're too cute. Stripes are too cute, and he's supposed to be intimidating Strahd sorcerer guy. Okay, so now it is time to figure out how to knee armor. This would have fabric behind it. Just plate on the kneecap. Okay. I don't get to design armor much, so this is pretty fun. It's always nice to switch things up. Recently, I've just been drawing a bunch of traps, a bunch of trap She-Ra, and of course my She-Ra. So basically, just I've been drawing a bunch of She-Ra in general. I'm kind of tempted to put more spikes, but I shouldn't. Okay, I'm gonna put some plate layering though, just so it's not like a weird cylinder on his thigh. I'm gonna get rid of this. No more spikes. No more spikes, gal. They're all spiked out. No more spiking the coffee. Okay, da 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 da. Okay, I am in the wrong shape. There we go. And then, of course, there be fabric behind this plate so that he can bend his knees because that is important for walking and basically everything. On the boots, I can probably get away with spikes on the boots. However, so there's a lot of important bones in the feet, so I cannot put too much armor on the boots without messing up his ability to walk. And you said you wanted realism, so he's basically just gonna have leather boots and with some plating. There's a plate. And then of course this is mostly a plate. There's a boot under the plate. This would probably be about where the top of the boot is. But this is plate. Plate. And all the points are going downwards. I almost want to make this one go upwards, but that like doesn't go with the flow of everything else, basically. Split this. Split this. Just keeping a running theme to keep the entire set of armor unified. If he was like a traveling or like wandering character, then it would like make sense for him to like create his armor with a bunch of combinations of different types and different styles of armor, and that can still look good if you can unify it with color. And if you just do the overall design right. But he's supposed to be noble sorcerer dude. I'm gonna assume his armor is some sort of magic, and therefore should be more unified in appearance. I'm just guessing though. I'm just guessing. You can tell me if I'm wrong, Lord Zoran. So many triangles. Okay, so that armor rough draft is basically done. However, I have been informed that a different kind that's more noble looking would be preferred with a nice lawn cape. And I can even combine multiple designs into one final design and such. It depends on what you want. I'm going to go ahead and move this to the side. Bring my little body sketch out. Look, they're gonna hold hands. Okay, and that's even enough. Okay. I did like a pinkish color in the last one. I shall do green. Yeah, I guess this one is green. Okie doke. Okay, time to see what I missed in chat. And if Sauron has left any wonder for the device for me. Many companies are centuries old. Recent corporations, yeah, not really ever. Well, entertainment company, very true. Eindhoven is still doing alright though. Marlon put them on the map, then Oblivion solidified it. New Vegas was actually done by Obsidian. Oh yeah, I remember. I actually remember hearing that said. I just forgot it. Thank you for bringing it back up. No Man's Sky learned to just shut up. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say its real name. One Man's Lie. It was an amazing concept though. The issue is that it was such an amazing concept that they completely didn't understand how much time or work it would take to make that concept a reality. I think they genuinely did try. They just gave up part of the way through. Fallout 4 was an abomination, an abortion. It was stillborn, murdered. The perpetrator should be lying against a wall. I'm not crying, you're crying. Am I missing something about Fallout 4? Because, like, almost every Fallout fan I've talked to has enjoyed that game. What did I miss? Okay, so Jack is going to have a shrine built for him. That's lovely. We demand you put horns on this character that does not belong to us. Now, you've been drawing Hera. I know what you get up to at night. No, because I've been drawing my version of She-Ra as well, who is very clearly female, and I've been drawing Zira, who is clearly a trap. An attractive trap. Gal, is this your first time designing armor? No, I've designed armor for my characters. You want spikes on the toes. I could indeed do that. But I think spikes on the toes look stupid. Is my personal opinion. They just remind me of like little elf shoes. Yeah, elf spikes of death, exactly. Armor and boots. Technically, yes. Technically, the full suits of armor, of medieval Europe, I believe, had armored boots. The samurai's armor was more like armored sandals. And actually, most Romans. Was it the Romans or the Greeks who fought naked? One or the other. But personally, I feel that for shaping purposes, unless we're assuming he has like a crap ton of layers of socks underneath, in order for him to move his feet in a more comfortable manner for walking, it would be better for him to just boots. I'm reaching DNC levels of falling behind. It's because I don't look at the chat while I'm doing the drawing thing. I can't look at the chat while I'm doing the drawing thing. I have to minimize my art program just to see what y'all getting at. I am falling behind terribly though. I'm sorry. To be fair, this is not my first stream. This is just the first stream where I've been more engaging. I was completely silent my first stream. She neglects us for her sanity. Surely you understand. I don't want to turn into DNC. No! I'm gonna have to start saying offensive things about trans people now. Just call them men with wigs and misgender the ones who are mean to me. And stuff. I don't know. Oh, man. Chat disconnected. Save.
In the first movie, he was on the planet, right? No, it was Finn. Was he? It was the first Finn. Yeah. And the first part of it. Somehow she got the BB-8 unit though. Oh, that's right. Because Poe was left behind. That's right. Because he had ejected.
It was some.
Wait, okay.